All right, everybody. Dr. Greg Eckel coming at you from Nature Cures Clinic. We're back in there and we are at it. We are serving the public and our patients. And today, what I wanted to do is bring you a friendly neighborhood reminder about your innate immune system. Before I do that, though, I want to talk about this is day 2 of the Brain Degeneration Summit. So if you haven't tuned in, please do. I'm getting some awesome feedback about the summit. I've got great speakers today. Yesterday, if you missed it, I had a whole segment from me on your immune system. So this is a word. I was on just AM Northwest this morning, local ABC affiliate here in Portland, Oregon, talking about your innate immune system, right? So maybe you're sick of hearing about it, but I'm going to share it anyways. I feel like now more than ever, we need to be paying attention to our health, right? You know, without your health, you've got nothing. And so now we're kind of cloistered up. We're kind of stay at home to save lives, etc. And we're faced with ourselves, and it gives us a really great opportunity to tackle some of these underlying health issues that we have, right? When you look at, what's the fear happening out there? It's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of death, right? I mean, it's right there. 10% of folks get that. Hi there, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. It is it's significant for folks, right? You can feel it. It's palpable. And so really what I'm out doing is just educating people about one of my favorite superheroes, which is your innate immune system, right? One year, just to, really upset my kids and really do the parenting thing, is I dressed up as my favorite superhero. It was back when H1N1 bird flu epidemic went down, and people were freaking out then. Now this one's a little bit more, right? We've had to shut down economies, shut down travel, stay at home, kind of close it up a little bit, right, to protect our most vulnerable people on the planet. Well, the flip side of this is, why don't we start talking about increasing their vitality and make them less hospitable to this virus? Like, why is it mainly the elderly? Now, there are younger 50 and 60-year-olds, even down into the 30s, but it does speak to the vitality of the individual. So that's what I'm out doing. Let's talk about that. You have an innate immune system. So my favorite superhero, I handed little scrolls of this message to people over Halloween. My kids were like 5 houses ahead of me, just saying, we don't know who that guy is in the red cape, and that was my scripted I across my chest. It was really cool. I thought, yeah, I'm nerdy like that. So anyways, your innate immune system, this is cell-mediated immunity, meaning your cells produce what is called natural killer cells, can kill viruses. So what happens in illness or viruses or these new or novel viruses is our body has no defense against them. They come in, they set up shop, and they start replicating. Well, our body's response to that, which is cell-mediated immunity, is how we overcome the illness, right? It used to bum me out as a new professional doctor in the naturopathic realm, of getting sick. And then it was like, wait a minute, Dr. Eckel, of course you are getting sick because you haven't seen every virus on the planet. And with that, just as an aside, I don't like to hear when people say, I never get sick. Well, we should really look at that, because you might not have enough defenses to mount a healthy response to other, right? So that's a big thing right there. Like, I want folks to really, grasp that is, the definition of health is the ability to move into and out of dis-ease with ease. It doesn't mean that you never get sick. So cell-mediated immune system, you create a fever. The fever is the cure. So definitely, if you're getting sick, it could be influenza A, B. There are a lot of other viruses out there right now. I now know everybody thinks they've got COVID-19 when they exhibit any of these symptoms. And what we're finding is that's not reality. Yes, COVID is a big deal. I want people to, keep the public health stuff, washing hands, social distancing, stay home for right now. We got to flatten that curve. but that really is about protecting the most frail uh, of our members of society, which I think is important. And let's start working on your health now more than ever. You're going to hear me say that a bunch of times. Now more than ever, this is the wake up call, right? If you're afraid of dying, if you're afraid of this virus or what it could do to the family, etc., well, let's look at that and really dig in and actually provide you some value here and let you know you do have an immune system that functions well, right? About 80% of the folks have mild to no symptoms of this virus. Well, why is that? Well, their terrain is not hospitable, right? The virus comes in, you mount a fever, you get a little bit of a cough, or you get no symptoms at all. Like, how can that be? Well, it just doesn't mount a response from those individuals that have better health. So, one, don't suppress the fever if you get sick. The fever is the cure. So definitely talk to your healthcare professional if you are ill. Call me if you're one of my patients. And then let's manage that fever together, right? Because when you suppress the fever, and that is the current regime when you go into the hospital, they just put you on fever reducers. And maybe that is one reason why we're having such a poor outcome with this when people need that type of intervention. Perhaps the fever is the cure and maybe we're mismanaging it. In 2009, Yale produced a study. They went back and looked at the care of the Spanish pandemic flu that knocked out, 10 million people off the planet. And they discovered at the time that the natural practitioners that were using more natural therapeutics and following nature actually had a 1% to 2% death rate versus it was about a 20% death rate from conventional care. Well, what is that? That is potentially, they were saying it could have been from the fever reducing agents that they were using. So I just want people to be aware of it, that there is some other information out there. I'm not contradicting any public health statements with that. Just looking at the research and what I've seen over 20 years of clinical care is we really want to manage a healthy fever. You don't really hear that so much in the mainstream media. And yeah, it feels like death. I've had fevers up to 103 and it's like a truck hit your body. It does not feel good, but it is your body healing itself. And please don't take that as medical advice. Get in touch with your provider, but I want you to know that your body can heal itself. So that's one. The cell-mediated immune system, the innate immune system. One story on that, I had a patient that had HIV/AIDS positive with no immune system, and they got pneumonia. Now, this was a winter about a decade ago. You are not supposed to survive pneumonia when you have no immune system. And what did we do? We worked on their cell-mediated immune system, which I'm going to share here in a moment. But we worked on that, and they made it. They lived, they survived, they lived another day. Because we really focus, this stuff really does work, folks. Your body can heal itself. So cell-mediated immunity, virus comes in, it replicates, your body creates a defensive response. That's the issue now when you hear about cytokine storm. That's the component that cytokine storm, our body's response to the virus, is the thing that creates the repercussions. Thanks, Kimberly, on that. It is inhospitable environment. Thank you for that comment. Your body then's response. So you don't want to have it over respond, but well, how do you modulate that, right? Well, one, your underlying terrain, you got to look at, like, if you're a smoker, you got to stop. Like, this is the time. If you don't have any other motivation, like, this is it. Like, listen up. You can call in. Your providers are doing telemedicine. Get put on the gum or the patch or get into some smoking cessation program now. You have time. You have the ability. You can be cranky around your family. They know you. They love you. Or if you're just out if you're in social isolation with yourself, please reach out to friends and family. but also take care of yourself and get this foundational stuff done, because now's the time, right? You don't have any better reason other than, like, smokers are more susceptible to the serious consequences of COVID, right? Like, that is, I'm not making that up. That's the truth. So let's take care of that. Other things, diabetes, hypertension, those two populations, folks with those conditions, are harder hit with this virus. Well, sugar imbalances are a big deal across the board. So, and it just happens to be heart disease and diabetes are some of their top two killers, right? Heart disease is still the number one killer by far. So again, now more than ever, it's time to take care of these underlying health conditions, right? So keeping moving. So what happens? Virus comes into the body. It replicates. The body then mounts a response. It's the cytokine storm trying to clear it out, kill it. And then in our body's inherent wisdom, it's creating antibodies. So that's the humoral response. That's when they're talking about the vaccine, like developing a vaccine. It's like giving your body the memory, even though it didn't create it itself, to maybe decrease that cytokine storm so that the virus can't get in and set up shop and then just wipe you out. So there is some value in a vaccine. Yes, that is coming from a naturopathic provider. However, if you can create your own immune system response to it without it killing you, that leaves you in a higher state of health, right? We look at, in certain vaccines, there's adjuvants and all kinds of fillers that also have some negative consequences. So, I think we are going to see this again in the fall. We're not out of it yet. And it's going to surface. Hopefully the virus co-evolves into a weaker virus. But we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm okay being in that unknowingness as well. Like, we don't know. Anybody that says they know, they don't know. So I would run the other way, actually. If somebody's saying with certainty this is the way it's going to go down, we don't know. So what I want you all to do is hedge your bets. Let's improve your own vitality now. This is the time. So we go from cell-mediated to humoral. That balance of the immune system is called harmony, and that's how our bodies regulate itself in homeostasis. So, that's just a little Physiology 101 message on your innate immune system. If you liked it, please keep dropping those comments. I love that. This is kind of new for me, so getting used to the Facebook Live setting. And wanting to educate folks. So if you like this, please share it with your friends and family. Again, a reminder, this is day 2 of the Brain Degeneration Summit. Check it out. You can get a course, 20 minutes of me talking about some practicalities and things that you can do for your immune system right now to implement. And now I'm going to give you some of the juice that you came for, which is, well, what can you do for your immune system? So we talked about smoking cessation. Stress reduction is a huge one. I have quadrupled down on my meditation practices. And I was just on the TV today talking about meditation practices in a simple way. If you've never done it, I know it can be daunting. Meditation, one, it's a 3-syllable word, but also just no more. In reality, it's very simple, and you can't do it wrong, right? We are all kind of faced with ourselves right now, and sitting with yourself is one of the best things that you can do. I don't know if you've noticed, but, people are sending like old pictures or doing family trees, and thank you, sis, that is putting together our family tree. And, I'm getting old pictures of high school buddies from back in the day, and it's awesome. And you'd wonder, like, okay, well, what's going on with this reminiscing? We're looking for some control, or some times where they were simpler times, or, we're going back to our roots. And, because we're faced with ourselves. And this pause is one of the pluses and blessings of this thing, is like, oh, we have like family time around the table, or I was playing, card games with my kids over the weekend. So much joy and fun with that. I learned some new card games, like a rummy. It was very fun. But, so there is that. And then we're also, what comes up? Well, there's a lot of memories, and this is full contact living out here. And we do have grief and sadness that surface, right? And with that, then we kind of get into, well, do I want to have that grief and sadness? Or maybe I'm going to eat the Ben and Jerry's ice cream in my freezer, right? Like there's emotional eating that happens. And I don't know if it's happening for you, but it is definitely happening for me. Pulled in some sugars and I've given up sugar and alcohol during this time, and boom, back on sugar. It's like, what in the world? So quick and so good, and not great because I'm back in the clinic seeing patients now. So I got to really raise my vitality, walk my talk. But I'm going to be honest with you. I know I'm human too. And so we are all working on it, and it is a work in progress. So I'm not beating myself up on it. I'm just like, nope, refocus, get back to task. But where I'm going with that, yes, I do ramble, is around our emotions, and sadness, grief is coming up for a ton of people. And my encouragement is to sit with that. Maybe get a journal out and put it down on paper. Get it out of here and get it down on paper, and really, ask your higher self, just ask yourself, like, what am I to do with this? How can I use this for the greatest, highest good for as many people as possible? Or maybe it's just for yourself. Like maybe there's some healing there that could happen during this time of pause, and just to clear it out and then notice what opens up for you. Well, meditation is one of those things that can be so beneficial, just to quiet the mind, get out of the rat race, get out of the run, run, run. I get into it too. It's like, oh, I got to be super productive right now because I have all of this time. It's like, let me just breathe a moment and calm it down, right? And get centered, get clear, allow those thoughts and emotions to come up, and just don't get attached to them. Just put them down on paper. See what's there. Be with yourself, right? All of those answers are within you of what you need to be doing at the current moment, the current time. You are safe, right? You can be in a calm state. And what that meditation does is it lowers your stress. When you lower your stress, you increase your immune system response. So it is awesome that way. Getting out in nature. We're in the Northwest. I'm coming at you from Portland, Oregon. We have a beautiful spring. It is just popping out there. So get out, take a walk. Of course, keep your social, distance there, the 6 feet minimally. Wear your mask out there. I know it's weird, but put it on. That's what we're doing right now. But get out and enjoy nature. Like there is some beautiful flowers coming, the buds on the trees. This season for Chinese medicine is the season of the liver. So I'm going to be talking about doing a liver detox cleanse. It's one of the ways that I reset. All of my patients on an annual basis are doing at least one of these things. The filter of the body and the blood is the liver. And so we've got to take care of that. And this is the time. It's seasonally correct, and it also can increase your own immune system response, so making you less hospitable to virus. This will do nothing but serve you for your future as well. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is Dr. Greg Eckel, Nature Cures Clinic. Please share this with loved ones. We want to get the word out. Thanks.